Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Introduction to Chemistry for Form 1 High School students. This is an online lesson in our channel at Steve Gitau 3660. Indeed, I am your teacher, Steve Gitau, and I'm going to take you through this lesson, and this will be in together with a series of others in chemistry for Form 1 and also Form 2, Form 3, Form 4. Maybe briefly, before we go to the lesson, I would like to introduce on how we shall be learning the online lesson. In the channel, we have created some playlists. In the playlists, we shall have chemistry for Form 1 as a folder. We shall also have chemistry for Form 2 as a separate folder, and chemistry for Form 3 as a separate folder. That way, we shall be able to manage to see that in every class or in every form, there is separate video for that. In Form 1 chemistry, if we go straight to the lesson, we have several topics lined up for us. The first one being Introduction to Chemistry, where you should learn about more of the Bunsen burner, parts of the Bunsen burner, differences between luminous and non-luminous frames. In the next video lesson, we shall look at air and combustion. We shall also have a video lesson on water and hydrogen. We shall have another video lesson on separation of mixtures. In the book, we call that topic classification of substances. Indeed, in every topic, we shall have a lesson dedicated to that. So kindly join me in the lessons that we shall be having, and do subscribe on the channel so that every time I upload a new video, you'll be the first one to be notified. Do share, comment on the video, and I'll always respond to your feedback. Straight to our today's lesson, Introduction to Chemistry for Form 1, we look at topic number 1, Introduction to Chemistry. The subtopic is Bunsen burner, the parts of a Bunsen burner and the differences between luminous and non-luminous frames. Right. In the laboratory, one of the most important apparatus is the Bunsen burner. You find that the Bunsen burner is the chief source of heat in the laboratory. Anytime we need to heat something, be it over a frame or by heating through a beaker or boiling tube, the Bunsen burner comes in very, very handy. What are the parts of the Bunsen burner? Number 1, we have the chimney. 2, we have the collar. 3, we have the jet. And 4, we have the air hole. Number 5, we have the base plate. And number 6, very important, is the gas tubing that brings in gas. Now let's look at the various functions of each of these parts. Number 1, we have the jet. A jet is a hole through which the laboratory gas enters the Bunsen burner. So we have a tiny opening through which the laboratory gas enters into the burner at very high pressure. Number 2, we have the collar. The collar is sometimes referred to as the sleeve. This is an adjustable circular metal which is attached to the main chimney, or what you call the barrel, with a side hole or some entry. So the collar, the purpose of the collar or the function of the collar is to control the amount of air that is entering to be used during burning. We also have the air hole. This is a point of entry. This is a hole through which air gets in. So the air hole is controlled by the collar, such that if the collar is not in line with the air hole, such that there is no opening, then we say that the air hole is closed. If the collar side hole is in line with the chimney, then the air hole is open. And that way we have the regulation of how much air we get in. One item that we've not mentioned here in the presentation is the chimney. The chimney is that barrel in which air and the laboratory gas mix. We also have the rubber tubing. This one, it connects the Bunsen burner usually to the cylinder that contains the gas. The base supports the Bunsen burner and makes it steady. So viewers, we need to look at the various types of frames produced. Generally, we have two types of frames, the luminous and the non-luminous. As the word suggests, luminous is that flame which produces a lot of light. Non-luminous is virtually there is very little light. Much of it is heat. So I'd like us straight away to look at the differences between luminous frame and non-luminous frame. Number one, luminous frame is produced when the air hole are fully or completely closed. The luminous is produced when the air hole is fully or completely closed, while as the non-luminous frame is produced when the air hole are fully or completely open. Number two, luminous frame produces some incomplete burning of the laboratory gas, whereas the non-luminous frame, since they are formed when the air hole is completely open, produces complete burning of the laboratory gas. Number three, we have the kind of frame produced by each of these two flames. Now, where we have the luminous frame, the flame is usually sooty or smoky. This is because it contains some fine unburnt carbon particles which make the frame sooty. Whereas in the non-luminous frame, it is usually non-sooty, non-smoky. This is because it is produced when the laboratory gas undergoes complete combustion. Hence, that kind of a frame, the non-luminous frame, does not have any unburnt carbon particles. Number four, in the luminous frame, we find that it is usually yellow in color and produces a lot of light. Hence, it's used for lighting purposes mostly. This is because some carbon particles become quite hot and they emit light. So the most important difference here is on the color of the flame. The luminous frame is usually yellow in color, and sometimes we say orange yellow. Now, whereas the non-luminous flame is mainly blue in color. Sometimes we say pale blue in color, and it's usually much hotter than the luminous frame. This makes the non-luminous frame very useful for heating purposes. In terms of size, we look at number 5. The luminous frame is much larger. In terms of sound, it is usually quiet and wavy. Wavy means it is not steady. It is easily swayed by wind. So sometimes the students put that as different points. That is, it is larger in size, quiet, that is, it does not produce any noise, and wavy. So the luminous frame is not easily swayed by wind, it is easily swayed by wind, such that it is wavy. Whereas when you look at the non-luminous frame, it is usually smaller. It is usually noisy and steady, meaning it is not swayed easily by wind. Viewers, we come to the end of our presentation in part 1 of our lesson there. And coming up next, we look at methods of separating mixtures. That will be in our second video. Keep watching. I am your online teacher, Steve Gitao. See you next time.